So I'm making this video for 2 reasons. Number 1, it is cheaper than therapy and easier than journaling. Number 2, I want to help people. That's it. If this video, albeit not incredibly fun or happy or uplifting, if this can help someone or just let someone know they're not alone or put some things in perspective for someone else, then this video is worth it, and what I'm going to talk about is worth it. So I want to kind of talk about 2 things as quickly as I can. I'm timing myself because I know I ramble a lot. I want to talk about burnout and why starting a business might not be the best thing for you. So let's start with the business, because it leads to the burnout. B stands for business and burnout in this case. To give you guys a little bit of context, I have been a business owner for about 2 years now. January of 2025 will mark the 3rd year of starting business or being in business. And I think a lot of people, especially now on Instagram, TikTok, social media, the internet, will tell you that starting a business is the greatest thing you can do, right? Why would you want to be capped by a salary? Why would you want to be capped by 40-hour work weeks and working 9 to 5? Well, let me explain something to you. When you leave your company and you start your own, you will not work 9 to 5. You will work 24/7, 365 for a very, very, very long time. Okay. And then in terms of your salary, yeah, you can be capped by a salary. I won't even remotely deny that. In my experience, a lot of folks that I talk to do not have a desire to be billionaires. They just want to make enough to survive. They want to be able to buy groceries. They want to be able to afford a mortgage. They want to be able to drive a car from point A to point B, maybe take a vacation or 2 a year with their loved ones, and they'd love to see their friends on the weekend. This idea of excess and you need more in order to feel more and even worse, be more is completely untrue. Here's the other thing. In the field that I'm in, which is cinematography and photography, there is a very massive, the market that I'm in is so saturated, and people know this. So what generally applies in business is you find a problem and you create a solution for it. So the problem that I experience in my business day over day is getting clients. Because you might think, well, Ben, it's really easy to get clients. Your work is excellent, right? Sure, but if everyone is doing what I'm doing, all someone has to do is provide a relatively similar service for way less money, and then they get the client. To give you guys some context, I was supposed to make about 10 to 15 grand in the last couple of months, just from a couple of additional clients, not including the ones I already have. And every single one of those clients dropped me, ghosted me, or just said they didn't want to go forward with the project. Almost all of it had to do with money. I tried to revisit them and work on the pricing, and my emails stayed cold, my phone stayed cold. People didn't reply. Not judging those people, I get it. We're about to go into election season. The economy is what it is, and so be it, right? It is what it is. In business, you learn to not take rejection so personally because you can't, because you're gonna get rejected way more than you're gonna be accepted. It costs a lot to do what I do. If I could be very transparent, for me right now to record this video, and it's very stripped back. I have my camera with a lens on it, my microphone, no fancy lighting. I'm just in my kitchen. I didn't want to overproduce this thing. For me to talk to this camera and then edit it is roughly $7,500 to $8,000. Doesn't include any of my lighting. It doesn't include any of my fancy like grip gear. It doesn't include anything else, right? $8,000 just for me to make a YouTube video. So let me do some fun math for y'all really quick, because I told you I'm going to talk about business. Then I'm going to talk about burnout. Let's say you make $1,000 on a retainer client. Well, you actually don't make $1,000, okay? You make $700, or if you're me, you make $600. Ben, why is that? Really easy. Take $1,000 that you get paid every month to do video work or photography work for a client. Well, if you don't want to go to prison and get arrested by the IRS, then you have to pay taxes at the end of the year. See, when you work for an employer, you get money back. When you are your own employer, you owe money to the government. And that default is about 28 to 30%. They say keep 30% out generous. This way, if you have anything come up, you should be good with the government. Okay, so there's $1,000 right there. Take $300 out. I'm down to $700. Well, Ben, why are you only making $600? Because as a Christian, a God-fearing, Bible-believing Christian, I believe in the principle of the tithe, and no one will ever take that away from me. With that said, $100 out of my 1,000, because 10% of 1,000 is 100. Okay, so you just gave me $1,000 and I leave with basically half of that. So I just told you how much my equipment cost. I'm not even going to do the calculation because I did it earlier. If my gear is roughly $7,000 to $8,000 and I only make $600 a month from one client. Now, granted, the goal is to get more clients, right? I understand that, but stay with me for a minute. It's going to take me a year with that one client just to pay off the equipment that you're looking at. That does not account for any new equipment. That doesn't account for insurance. That doesn't account for growing and expanding a business. That also doesn't account for things like medical, which I have a lot of problems with because when I was 18, I was diagnosed with a heart arrhythmia and it flared up this year to a point where I'm probably going to need surgery for it. That not only is more money out of my pocket, but it's time that I can't work on the business. Okay? This also doesn't account for groceries. By God's grace, I'm able to live at home with my parents still. But let's say I wasn't in that position. Let's say I had a wife. Let's say I had a family. Let's say I had all these other things that everyday people have. $1,000 a month is not a lot of money because it's only $600 a month. So you might think, well, Ben, you get more clients. Telling someone in business to get more clients is kind of like telling depressed people to be happy. If it was that easy, we would all be doing it. Which is why we should talk about social media for a second. See, all these gurus on social media, specifically in my world, which is again, video and photo, are going to tell you, here is the secret to landing clients. And what they do is they give you a pitch deck that they probably stole from someone else or they made it in Canva. You can literally go on Canva and type in video pitch deck or photo pitch deck. It teaches you how to get clients quickly. They're going to teach you how to build an avatar, which is just a fancy word for your ideal client. So for example, if you like sports, you would want to build an avatar for people in sports like basketball, hockey, football, running, whatever the case might be. Maybe you love food and fine dining. Okay, your avatar would be restaurateurs and restaurant owners, right? Or sommeliers or whatever the case might be. All of these courses are going to teach you how to build pitch decks, how to find your ideal client, how to build your ideal client, and then how to have social skills to essentially pitch to them, hey, you need high-value video high-value video content because that is what is going to bring more clients to your door, which then means that that company makes more money, and then in turn, you can charge them more money. I just saved you all hundreds of thousands of dollars in business in my world, specifically in probably a minute and a half. And where do I get the nerve to say that? Because I have taken 5 independent courses with 5 incredibly lucrative creators on Instagram who are quite literally making 6 or 7 figures doing what I just told you in under 2 minutes. If it's that easy, why are you burnt out? Why isn't business working for you? Because it's not that easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. I just told you guys that people ghosted me. People don't want to spend the money. On top of that, if you're in this kind of industry, photo and video, the good news is that you are your only employee. The bad news is you're your only employee, okay? Let's talk about time management for a minute. You have to work 7 days a week because you have videos that you need to shoot, you have videos you need to edit, you have videos you need to revise, you have videos you need to storyboard for, you have to travel for your work, you have to shoot your work, you have to edit your work, you have to handle everything. So let me give you a really easy example. This weekend, I am going away for 3 days to shoot with my friends in Vermont or Virginia. I forget where we're going exactly. I lose 3 days of edits and shooting in other areas because I'm doing that work with them, which I am super excited for. They are some of my closest friends and I can't wait to do it. But that now means that 3 days are gone. Well, Ben, why don't you hire more people to help you do the business? With what money? Because I'm still in debt from starting the business and I have medical bills and I have, other things to pay for, right? Again, telling a business owner to get more work or get more money is the same as telling a depressed person to be happy. If it was that simple, we would all be doing it. So now what happens is you lose all of your time. You think working 9 to 5 is bad? Try working 24/7, 365. Not only do you have to do all the work I just mentioned, you have to find and generate leads, you have to meet with those clients, you have to close those leads, you have to lock them into a retainer contract, because if not, you're screwed, you're going to lose money. And ultimately, you have to do everything. You are the bookkeeper, you have to send the invoices, you have to... How about this? Get rid of all the business for a minute. You have to grocery shop. You have to go to the doctors. You have to go do regular appointments. Forget all of that. You have to have friends. If any of my friends are watching this and you've made it this far, it's nice to see you guys. I have not hung out with friends sincerely in a long time. For the past probably 5 months, my head has been down in the work and I have not been present for anything. I've had friends' birthdays where I'm there in the room physically, but mentally all I'm thinking is if I sneak out of this party an hour and a half early, I can edit for about 45 minutes and get that thing off my plate, because I have to film on Saturday, I have to do this on Sunday, I have to travel on Sunday night, I have to do this Monday, and I missed my friend's birthday. I've missed things with my family, I've missed things with friends, I've missed things at church. I have missed so much of my life because work demands the most of me. Business demands the most of me. So let's talk about burnout, because that's what this video is. And maybe you're watching all this and you're like, holy smokes, that's where I am too. If you're burnt out, you're not crazy, you're not alone, you're not a failure, you didn't mess up, okay? This is what probably all business owners go through at some point. This is what all creatives go through, because the reality is, I think as creatives, in the industry I'm in, maybe you're in a different one, but in the industry I'm in, a lot of what I do isn't about money. It has to be, because I have to get paid, I have to pay bills, but fundamentally, I just want to make something that matters. I want to help people. I want to create narratives and stories and things that have impact, that help people. And so it's very easy to get burnt out this way, because everything you do is for money. And you get to this point where, like for me, my heart literally doesn't function without medication at this point, because it just doesn't work. And I'm stressed and I'm tired. I'm exhausted all the time. I work from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to my room, and I'm doom scrolling on Instagram like every other person, guilting myself, thinking I should probably be doing work right now. And yet I tell myself, but I just want an hour to feel like a normal person. And the reality is, I don't even really know what that means anymore. My summer went by and I did not do anything with friends. I made all this money for it all to go to bills. And I looked at my bank account today and said, wow, I am going to need a part-time job by the end of all of this. So here's the honest truth. If you made it this far, I'm burnt out. I'm really tired. I don't know if I want to keep doing this. We'll see how I feel tomorrow when I wake up. I love what I do. I love my work. I believe in what I do. I don't want to quit at all. But when you feel like your head is never going to get above water, and everyone in your life has an opinion on how you should do business, and they don't know your business, they don't understand how it works, they don't understand your industry, it is exhausting and it burns you out. So if you want to start a business, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but what I am saying is this is a cautionary tale that it is simple, but it is not easy. And if you're not careful, you will burn out a lot faster than you think. I haven't even talked about the fact that most of my days are spent alone, right? Either I'm editing here alone, or I'm just going to make sure that clients are good and I'm appeasing them. No one really talks about the fact that, again, you miss so many things. You miss events, you miss opportunities. You don't even look at people the same way, because you have to look at them from the lens, no pun intended, of what can you do for me? What can you give me? And some of you might know this about me. Some of you might not, because you're strangers on the internet. I don't want to do this for money. I don't want to be the guy who's thinking about money 24/7, 365. But when you're drowning, the only thing you're concerned about is getting your head above water. You don't care if you smack the lifeguard in the face. You don't care if you pull someone else out to current or not. You just don't want to drown. You just don't want to die. And that's what this can feel like a lot of times is, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna be okay? So if you made it this far, you're probably like, wow, Ben, this is not super helpful. This is not that encouraging. And so here's what I will kind of say and leave you with. Business is hard. Running your own business is hard, and it will take every last ounce of you. And you need to consider that. You need to really think about, is this what I want to do? Am I really made for this? And for the record, the only way you're going to find out is if you try. It's the equivalent of when you go to the gym for the first time. You have no idea what weight you're capable of putting up until you put up weight for the first time. So if you want to give business a try, give it a shot, give it a go. But let me keep it really simple for you. It is hard freaking work. You are going to have a lot of sleepless nights. You're probably going to develop panic attacks or panic syndromes. I pray in Jesus' name you don't, but you probably will. People are not going to understand you. You are going to lose friends faster than you ever thought was possible. And you're going to have to come to peace with almost all of that alone. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll make some videos on how to take care of yourself. Today is one of those days where it hit me like a sack of bricks, that I am tired and I am exhausted. And if I could be so candid with anyone who watches this, I don't want to live like this anymore, where everyone thinks I'm doing good and I'm outputting good work. And let me say it like this. I don't want people to look at my work and think, wow, he's doing so well, because I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being. And maybe I'm doing good work. But in terms of being, if I could be so honest, I'm not being well right now. I'm not in a good place. I'm very tired. I'm exhausted. I miss my friends more than anything. I miss being present with my friends, my family, my church community. And my business has taken all of that from me. And it's my fault, and I allowed it, and that's on me. And this is not a cry for help or pity. But I want people to see this raw, this authenticity, this honesty. And I want you to understand that this is hard, and it will take everything from you if you're not careful. And in the words of one of my heroes of this past year, Dr. John Deloney, you are worthy of being well. If your house is on fire, the goal is not to stop the smoke alarm from bothering you and making noise. The goal is to put the fire out. So if you hear this and it resonates with you and you're like, Ben, I think my house is on fire, my call to you, my challenge to you, my plead to you is not that you would try to silence your smoke alarm or your smoke detector, but that maybe together we can put the fire out. I love you. Believe in you. I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. I hope this helps you. And we'll talk soon.